Yeah, Christine, and we're going to hold on to those winds really throughout the day. Rain chances start to increase later on this evening into the overnight hours and could stick around for parts of that morning commute. But today, first alert weather day, we're seeing those widespread winds gusting between 30 to 40 miles per hour, some higher gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And while this isn't unusually high for this time of the year, this is the first widespread wind event that we've seen so far this season. A lot of those trees still have the leaves on them, and that means there's that possibility that we could see some isolated power outages due to either some downed trees or some branches snapping off of some of those vulnerable trees. This is going to stick around throughout the afternoon hours into the early evening hours, and because of that, we have a wind advisory in effect. Now, this is north of Seattle as you work your way toward Everett, Marysville, Mount Vernon, Bellingham, all included within this wind advisory, extending west into the San Juan Islands as well as the north coast. This is that brown shaded area you see. This continues all the way until 5 p.m. today. Again, expecting those southerly winds sustained around 25 to 35 miles per hour with some gusts up to 50 miles per hour. We've already seen some of those strong wind gusts, and we're seeing those sustained winds right now. Look at that 37 miles per hour sustained wind at Whidbey Island. That's approaching tropical storm force winds there. 15 miles per hour in Seattle, 20 miles per hour of those sustained winds in Everett, and the gusts are even stronger right now. These are the observed gusts within the past hour across western Washington. 46 miles per hour Oak Harbor, 36 miles per hour in Forks. And I want to show you some of those strong winds. I'll take you out to Bellingham, and you can just see the camera there whipping with those winds gusting over 30 miles per hour in parts of Whatcom County. And look at the grass there. You can see that wind just blowing it as those southerly winds just continue to pump in across the area. And we're seeing the winds here in Seattle as well. Not as dramatic as what we're seeing for our friends in Bellingham, but look at the trees right there. See all the leaves, the beautiful leaves on them? A lot of those coming down, but you can see the winds are gusting here in Seattle as well. So again, that could allow for some power outages. Just keep that in mind, especially if you have some trees near your home. Maybe just keep a close eye on that and possibly consider moving to a different bedroom if you start to see those trees shaking. Here we go. We're going to see the winds continue into the afternoon hours. Around 5 p.m. you're leaving work and school. We're still going to see the wind gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour. So keep that in mind, especially on the east-west highway. So we're talking about 90, 212, even parts of 101, possibly the stretch from Olympia to Tacoma. You want to hold onto the steering wheel pretty tight as those southerly winds just continue across the area. They do start to die down later on this evening into the overnight hours, and by tomorrow morning a lot calmer. We're also tracking some rain that's going to move in, eventually going to work its way into the Olympic Peninsula later on this evening. Notice some of the red, orange, and yellow colors. That is some moderate to at times heavy rain that's going to work its way in. And eventually it's going to shift its way toward the south and east. I think we're good through dinner time for Seattle. So if you have any dinner plans, we should stay dry just after dinner time, though that rain starts to work its way south, continuing throughout the overnight hours. And by tomorrow morning, you're grabbing the cup of coffee, you're heading into work or school. We're going to see that rain, especially from Seattle south. So it could be a wet commute for parts of I-5. If you're heading to Seattle from Olympia, could expect a few raindrops. Give yourself a little extra time for that commute. The high temperatures today, despite the rain that's going to move in later and despite the winds, we're going to be a little milder compared to what we've been over the past few days, running just a touch above average. Average high in Seattle 57. We're up to 59 degrees today after several days below average. 7-day forecast shows we really hold on to this active weather pattern as we work our way into the weekend. Another storm system arrives. I think Halloween, unfortunately for the kiddos, is looking wet, but we'll continue to keep a close eye on that forecast. Cold air moves in beyond Monday.